And matter of fact, even the day before, a game that we're looking forward to, very looking forward to, especially SirJahzeal. You know, here's the weird thing, right? That game, if you go to their Steam page, in their self description, they call themselves an MMO survival game, right? But if you actually look at their tags, the MMO tag or massively tag actually isn't in the game. But anyways, it's so weird. But anyways,
It's the Trinity MMO show. He is risen.
He's risen indeed.
Welcome to episode 85 of the Trinity MMO show. This week on the show, daily quest from your game masters. The main story quest, okay, mobile MMORPGs. Are they really MMOs or just wannabe taking cash out of the pocket of unsuspecting players? Your Escort Quest, we're going to do a throwback, a game throwback. We'll talk about a game that does not exist anymore. You'll find out in a minute when we get to it, okay? And as always, our world events. We're so glad you joined us for some good old MMO news and MMO opinions. The Trinity and the show's title, if you haven't quite figured it out yet, now 85 episodes in. Trinity refers to three closely related persons or things. And in our case, it's a three of threes because we have threes all over the place. The first Trinity is the Holy Trinity of God the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Second Trinity is the MMO Trinity of Tank, Healer, DPS. And the third Trinity is 1, 2, 3 of us. And if you haven't figured it out yet, that's also 1, 2, 3 bullet points. That's 3 more threes, and you have threes coming out all over the place. As always, we have our MMORPG experts here to guide you and me. And our sensei of MMO news and games is SirJahzeal.
Hello.
We have a resident YouTuber at Coffee and RPGs and Whiskey and RPGs, Solomon SK. He is there, right?
no, I'm here.
Said nothing. It's quite a long pause.
Sorry.
And then there's me, Kennethan. Each week we game with you with our quests to have you with our MMO news and MMO opinions. Okay, so now the first song. It's time for some quests. That's right, some quest. There is not a lot of news this week, at least not the news I found. So my side of things will be rather short. Okay. Noah's Heart. No, not Noah's Ark. Noah's Heart. You know, thump, 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 thump. From a company called Archsor Games. And using, by the way, the Unreal Engine 5. Is a mobile MMORPG with steampunk fantasy flair and a seamless open world map. Why I mention this? It's now in second closed beta. And I also mention because it is a Unreal Engine 5 game, but on mobile. But hey, you can do the quest there, the beta this weekend, and you have a PC version too, so not quite all mobile. World Seed officially launches on Steam, free to try, as the developer said, not free to play. Apparently, they say Steam has this thing where if you make it free, it's got to be free to play, even though it's free to try. You know, if you want to unlock more, you got to pay $9, okay? And so it's a tabletop RPG. It's a hex crawling MMO. I tried playing it earlier. I don't know about the MMO part of things yet, but we'll see. Now, this is not MMORPG, but hey, it's one of the things, a game I played. I think I tried beta called Scavengers. Well, apparently it's entering PC maintenance mode, which just came out like last year. You know, it's a PvP, PvE survival shooter. Well, unfortunately, the game company was sold, and so they're trying to figure out what they're going to do next. You know, so if you're enjoying Scavengers, it was kind of a neat premise. You have teams of 3 going in, 20 teams of 3 going in and surviving. And so it's a open world cold survival shooter, and it has some merit too. So if you're kind of like an Apex Legends person, you might like it, but maybe not. So that's all the quests I had today. What do you guys hear, SirJahzeal?
Well, right now I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my camera. But so coincidentally, the couple things that you put in here for me are things I was going to talk about. So
that's why I
that works
figured
out
it for you.
fantastic.
Yep.
So there was oh man. I'm sorry about my camera, guys. It's just going to be messed up today. So Let me see if I can fix it. The EverQuest, the original game, came out in 1999 that you've heard us talk about a few times on the show here. They have a Project 1999. It's kind of a, well, it's not kind of, it is a private server that is ran apart from the official servers. But what it does is it takes you back to the original versions of the game, all the way up through Scars of Velios, I believe, and Ruins of Karnark. So the first two expansions are included in that. A lot of people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people play on those. Well, they had a little bit of drama last week, but apparently some of the news sources have been sleeping on it, because I've actually been hearing about this drama for over a month now.
Oh, wow.
What happened? Let me see if I can do this quickly. So there is a dragon, a really nasty guy. Okay. And he's called the Sleeper. There is one on every server. And there is a lot that of hoops to jump through in order to wake him up. And what happens is one of two things. Either you can fight him and down him after ridiculously long fights, taking a ridiculous amount of people, or he will go around the world and basically kill everyone.
Oh, boy.
And then disappear forever. Once he's woke up, it's one of those two things. Either you're going to down him, or it's going to down you, and then he's gone. That's it. No more. Fine. So, there apparently were a lot of people who were like, no, let's not do it. Let's leave that in the game. And there was another group of people who were like, no, let's do this. Let's wake him up and let's kill him and let's get his loots. And it stirred up quite the nasty. I mean, West Side Story with the Sharks and Jets had nothing on this stuff that was going on. It was quite brutal, and there are still a lot of really upset people. So they did end up waking him up and taking him down, getting the loot. And that's it. That's all there is to it. He's not like a normal boss or a normal raid in another game where, oh, it's fine. He's still there for people that want to go do the instance or anything. There are no instances in EverQuest, by the way, like there are in modern MMOs. It's just the world is completely open to everybody. Yeah. It made a lot of people angry. And these are all, mind you, these are not little kids. These are not teenagers even. These are not even 20-somethings that are... These are people that are my age, that are Kennethan's age. 40s and 50s and even some 60s. People who were around since the beginning. Were already adults when the game came out, who are fighting over this stuff. It's quite the scene right now. So, as one Reddit user summarized, it was a once-in-a-lifetime event on a server that a group of selfish people decided to do without telling the rest of the players, which is not... I'll get to that. It's not completely true. On the server, rendering themselves as the most hated guild on Project 1999. That part's probably true. The thing is, this has been going on for weeks. The debate on should we or shouldn't we has been going on. Everybody was in the know. There's not a single person on that server who didn't know that this was going to be happening, unless they slept under a rock, or the rock. Anyway, for the last month. I don't know where you were. Maybe you went on vacation or something, but everybody knew. Even I knew, and I'm not even on Project 1999 right now, although I'm thinking about it. So Anyway, the biggest thing to take out of this is to know that the reason that there's so much hubbub about it is that this is not a boss that will come back. Once he's gone, once he's woken, he's gone. That's it. Forever. Unless the devs go and put him back into the game, which I doubt. Because, yeah, it's supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. In fact, really, you're just supposed to leave him asleep. But anyway, that's...
well, so...
that was fun to watch.
Let me ask a question. I mean, 1999...
Mm-hmm.
I know this is a player server, you know, kind of approved by
It is.
Daybreak, and it's like,
yes,
it is now 2022.
Yes.
It feels like some point
yes.
you should do it. So the biggest thing that I saw in the article was, I mean, they said that not everybody knew about it. Now, if everyone knew about it, if everyone got a chance to do it and chose not to, is one thing, right? But if they actually warned everyone, we're going to go to Sleeper, we're going to do this, we're going to take them down, it's the once in a lifetime, let's go. And they're like, no, we don't want to do it. Well, majority says we'll do it. And then that's the way it works. And I don't know what to say, you know, it's like.
It came down to, here's the date and time that we're doing this. If enough people show up, we're doing it. And enough people showed up.
Yeah.
There's no way that anybody that was involved missed it. I feel for those people who maybe they work during those hours and they were like, hey, I can't be on during that time. I feel for you. I've been there. When they tried to wake the sleeper up on Zabuxaruk, which was the server that no longer exists, but that was the server I was on when I was playing EverQuest back in the day. I got left out on it too because I had to work. I was working a 48-hour shift, and it was right in the middle of that shift. And I even tried to play sick to be able to go home, and they couldn't find anyone to replace me, so I didn't get to do it. But, you know, it is what it is. And I feel for those people. I don't mean to make light of the situation for people that legitimately had reasons that they wanted to be involved and couldn't.
Right.
And I do feel for those people that are like, hey, let's leave them sleeping. It's just kind of cool to have that aspect of the game still be intact. But yeah, it. Now, most people will say, well, Reddit's always a mess. That's what I'm about to say. But this, y'all should go check it out. It's very entertaining. So moving on, Wrath of the Lich King beta is coming in July or August, which is, let's see, you wrote here 2 to 3 months after the interview with Holly. I didn't think it'd been 3 months yet, but maybe it has. I don't know. Time is a weird thing with me right now. May 6th. Okay, so speculation is that it's pretty sure thing. It's going to be released Q4 of this year. Well, I would say that's a safe bet. On the trailer, I guess you would call it, the sneak peek, it did indicate 2022, and I think Q4 is a very safe bet. I can almost tell you it's going to be Thanksgiving time. Now, I don't have any sources telling me anything, so this is just coming off my little shrinking brain here. I don't know. There goes my camera messing up again. Goodness gracious. And I'm excited for it. I have well, technically 2 characters leveled up, one on Horde, one on Alliance, although we're doing Alliance, so the Alliance one is really the one that counts, and I'm leveling up a couple others because I've got friends that are currently leveling up, Ken included, who, you know, I'm trying to level up with them because that back in those days, it was brutal trying to solo level unless you really knew what you were doing and had a lot of patience and time.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it, and anybody that wants to play with this, Kennethan and I here are going to be playing it. I don't know about Solomon. He seems like he's not really thoroughly excited about it. But there are a bunch of us that are looking forward to it. So it'd be great to have all of you along with us. So if you're interested, please do, drop us a message and let us know that you're interested, and we can get you that information on what we're going to be on Atish. Playing Alliance. I think we're settled on Alliance at this point.
Right.
I think. And if you need a leveling partner, need someone to help you out, maybe you're going to play a healer or something, and that's impossible to solo level, let us know also, and we're going to be trying to set up days and times that we can all meet together on there and level up together and actually have some fun, because it can be quite the frustrating experience leveling in that game solo. But Wrath of the Lich King, as I've said before, that is my favorite era by far. Again, I mean, I'm going to mess up my camera here probably doing this, but I got the box sitting here. I'm so excited. I even got my little action figures and all that stuff sitting out here. So
what
I'm excited
color
for it.
Is your shirt?
My shirt is like a medium blue, but
Because I'm seeing the Warcraft wording on World of Warcraft on your chest.
If you haven't been watching, every time I move,
okay,
or
I know,
put my hands up or anything, it changes the color scheme for some reason.
no,
And I can't.
It was perfect. You talk about Warcraft, and there it was on your chest.
Well, that's true. Let's see if we can do the skin with that. Nah, it's probably gonna mess it up. But anyway, I got the box here. I do have the collector's edition, but it is stored away in my closet, and I forgot to get it out to show on here.
Again, I thought before the launch.
I thought Solomon might be doing his name the game thing, and I didn't want to take up too much time here. But poor Solomon's got the sniffles. Well, he's got more than sniffles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Anyway, those are my two things for today. Like I said, go check out that Reddit if you have some free time and want to. Well, I don't know if it's a giggle. It may be sad.
Rabbit hole. Who cares?
For you.
So Solomon, I think you're still there. You got anything you want to add? Any quest stuff?
Not necessarily. Ooh, not necessarily. Although Lost Ark just released the Destroyer class, and I had no idea.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so busy. I'm like, oh, this is cool. But anyways, also there's rumors speculating that EA might be for sale. But
what? EA's for sale to who? Oh my gosh! Don't tell me it's Tencent.
It's rumors.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Who would buy?
Young did a video like an hour ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool video. But again, nothing substantial. But I definitely do think it's something that we should keep an eye on, just because it's EA. So, but that's it.
Maybe EA is looking to sell or merge the company, according to a report. Okay.
Make EA great again.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I used to love EA games back in the 90s, man.
Oh, same here. When they, excuse me, when they had their logo with the 3 shapes. You know what I mean? The retro logo.
I remember that.
Yeah, a lot of good memories with that.
But why would they seek a sale? EA reportedly seeking sale. Held talks with Amazon, Disney, and Apple.
Really?
I wonder why they're looking at. Okay, anyways, yeah, that would be interesting. They do EA sales because it's a big company. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure why they would want to sell, but that's sort of the fact that Bungie was bought by Sony, Bethesda was bought by Microsoft. Maybe they're looking for some bigger partners for this point. All right,
Hope Sony buys it.
That'd be nice. Right, main story quest.
It is time once again for the main story quest, where the Trinity Bros give you their MMO opinions.
All right, time for our MMO opinions from us, your Trinity Bros. Mobile games, mobile MMORPG. This is where we come in with our comments, and we can either go viral or not. People hate us or love us. No, sure. Are they really a mobile MMORPG? Are they really an MMO, or just wannabe to take cash out of the pocket of unsuspecting players? Now, I'm all for the idea of expanding MMORPGs. If you actually go into, apparently you go to the Google Play Store, or not Google, yeah, the Android 8, whatever, Play Store, there's a lot of MMOs out there. People are just trying to saturate the market. And I don't play games on my mobile that way. No, I'm just like, no, that to me is just trying to, a cash grab for some people to buy a game and not really do anything with it. It's just, no, it's not really a game. You can kind of immerse it, but not really on a tablet or a phone. It just doesn't the same thing. You can't do the same kind of combat. You can't do the same thing. I played, I know it's a battle royale. I played Fortnite on my, no, PUBG, I think, on my phone. And it was interesting because it's harder to play, but I won more actually playing on mobile than I did on the PC. But Solomon, what are your thoughts? Is it really a game, a place to shoot for, or just we should avoid it?
For those of you who've been watching my channel for a while now, and I've said this multiple times in my videos, I think mobile games are just generally dumb. That's why I don't really cover them. With a few exceptions, very rare few exceptions. I'm not saying that there aren't any good mobile games, but to call yourself an MMO when you're clearly not. The only mobile titles, excuse me, that I would consider actual MMOs will be Black Desert Mobile and V4 or Victory 4. Those are the only two that actually checks all the criterias, in my opinion, that actually make an MMO an MMO, which is a large, vast, persistent world where many players can come together, very similar to what you see in World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy, Black Desert, etc., etc. But a lot of these games play like Raid Shadow Legends, and they'll call it an MMO because um like you could see the names of other people when they proc an item. So that makes it an MMO somehow. It's like, no, that's dumb. Just because you're hooked up to a network, and
Yep.
just because you have to play the game online because you justify your DRM or whatever they call it, digital rights to, or the piracy whatever
Right,
program.
TCMA or
Yeah,
the
all that
law.
stuff. Like, just because you have that and require players to have that to play your game, you're gonna call it an MMO. It's just so dumb. Now we could get into like really, I don't know what's the word, hostile territory. And I think the what do you call it? The offshoot conversation is, okay, then how do you define an MMO? What are the characteristics that define an MMO? Right? And then we might have to name games that are non-mobile games that people consider MMOs that aren't truly MMOs, for example, Destiny 2. And matter of fact, even the day before, a game that we're looking forward to, very looking forward to, especially SirJahzeal. And here's the weird thing, right? That game, if you go to their Steam page, in their self description, they call themselves an MMO survival game, right? But if you actually look at their tags, the MMO tag or massively tag actually isn't in the game. But anyways, it's so weird. But anyways, I thought that's neither here nor there because that's not the topic at hand. But yeah, when it comes to strictly mobile games, I'll play a few. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to MMOs, like my BS meter, bologna and sausage meter, goes up tenfold compared to any other type of mobile game or mobile genre on the market right now.
No, yeah, that's a good, yeah. I diss the phone games. I don't play phone games, but there are a lot of people who play phone games. So there's a market out there. I mean, that's the reason why Blizzard wants to make a mobile version of Diablo. It's where the money's at. So I get it. Even a game I mentioned earlier, that Noah's Heart, is a mobile game, but it has a PC version of it too. So they're trying to tap into all levels, which I kind of have a problem with tapping all levels. It's more like you make a game for mobile by itself. Yoshi was saying, I will play my phone MMO racing game. I feel personally attacked. Just kidding. He also asked, V4 is the FPS, right? Never mind. Not an FPS. Okay.
No, V4 is a high fantasy.
High fantasy. Okay.
Yeah, RPG. It's actually really fun. But yeah, I have other MMOs that occupy my time before I'll ever get to that game.
Sure. All right, SirJahzeal, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about MMORPG, mobile MMOs?
I have not enjoyed any of them that I have tried, and all of them have felt like money grabs. I remember, man, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It had chaos in the name. Reign of Chaos or something like that. It's several years ago, and it had to. It felt kind of like World of Warcrafty, um, but yeah, they just never they never check all the boxes for one. As Solomon was saying, I completely get what he's saying there, or they just barely scrape by, but. Also, they don't ever seem to run well, and it's really difficult for me. And I try to not allow my bias of my generation and that kind of stuff in the game. Oh well, I'm a PC purist, and anything that's played on any other device isn't a real game. Um, but I do find that unfortunately, most of the games on the phone, although some of them can be kind of fun, even if it's just for a little while, um, they never feel like a legitimate game to me, like like on
Yeah.
PC or even console, because I've played great MMOs on console and I played great MMOs on PC, of course, duh, right? um, I don't think it's always going to be that way, though. I'm kind of optimistic that we may someday have some decent MMOs that are playable on tablet and phone. Although I just can't see really having a great experience on this little thing. I just I don't know, man. To me, these things are still, mainly a communication device to me. I don't really play any games, although I am going to try Diablo Immortal on there. And I have played like Genshin Impact and stuff on it, but I just I don't think right now that we've got any good examples of a true MMO experience on mobile. But I do, like I said, I am optimistic. I do think in the next probably 5 years that we will have some decent, real legitimate games that we can play on there that will truly be an MMO experience. Not just as devices get better and improve, but also as our services get better. Because uh, you need a good stable internet connection to be able to do that, and most people don't have that in their area. And so I think as that improves, as the phone, as the devices, not just phones, tablets as well, both the minis and the full size tablets, I think we probably will have some legitimate ones. Yeah, because I think, and Genshin Impact's not even an MMO, really. It says it's an MMO, but it's not really, right? It's a co-op. And again, now I'm just echoing what Solomon said, that yeah, okay, they throw MMO on there, but at least for Solomon and I, it's not checking the boxes for a true MMO experience.
Yeah.
Now I do believe, isn't old school RuneScape on the mobile?
If it is, I don't care. It's terrible.
Yeah, but I would consider old school RuneScape MMO because it does have a persistent world, although it's pretty rudimentary. So
yeah, I see now that RuneScape's not my thing. Yeah, it's not these guys either, as you just saw and heard. But I mean, if that's on there, that's a legitimate one. So like I said, that just kind of fortifies my belief that we're going to get there. We're going to get there eventually. I mean, I'm throwing that we have Call of Duty and stuff that apparently runs really well on some people's devices. I tried it on my phone and it felt like this thing was going to catch fire in my hand. It actually got so hot I couldn't hold it anymore. So maybe other people have more money to buy a really good phone or something. But and I can see like the Steam Deck and stuff like that. Maybe playing even. I said this the other night with some of the guys and gals I was playing World of Warcraft with. I said I could totally see like World of Warcraft being at some point ported over to like Steam Deck or other similar devices. And they all said no, they don't see that ever happening. But I think it could be if they could just pare down all the spells and abilities that you have to use in the game and just kind of whittle it down to something like Guild Wars 2, where you only have 5, that you can select from, depending on what weapon that you have equipped or things like that. I think that we just need to. Number one, it's probably going to need to be a game that's built from the ground up to be portable. That's going to be able to be used on a Steam Deck or a mobile device with PC and potentially console and portable would probably go hand in hand, right? But with PC in mind, that they would be porting it to PC. I think if you did it in that way, it would work a lot better. But that's not to say that you couldn't take a current PC MMO and port it over the opposite direction. It's just we're gonna have to rework the way that we do things as far as controls go. But yeah, I'm optimistic about it. Do I think that I'm gonna be someday playing World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls Online or Final Fantasy 14 on my phone? Not if I've got a computer. No.
Yeah.
So I would end with that, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Ray. Now it's time for Escort Quest. Where's the button for that? Oh, there you are.
I don't know.
Walk with us as we escort you to safety, experience, and the adventure of a lifetime.
It was below name that game. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay. All right. So, our Escort Quest. So, we're going to do a game throwback. It's kind of like in line of what Solomon's doing in regards to name that game. Pulling something out of the closet, trying to figure out what it is. We want to do a game throwback. Talking about an old game that isn't here anymore. And since we had the top 10, 11 songs recently done by SirJahzeal, okay, there was one song on that list that comes from a game that does not exist anymore. Okay, not on Final Fantasy 14 or EverQuest, or Elder Scrolls Online or Guild Wars 2 or Stars of the Old Republic or Lord of the Rings or World of Warcraft, or New World or Buttons Online or Lineage 2, but a game called Wildstar. So Wildstar was terminated how many years ago? People were shocked by it, similar to when City of Heroes was canceled. They didn't have it wasn't like they were losing money. It was just more like the studio got disinterested in it, so I didn't have to go pursue that anymore. And people love the game. There are a lot of people who like the game a lot, and pretty much was shocked by it. You know, I did play a little bit of it. I didn't full bore it, so to speak. I liked it. It was kind of cool and all, but this is back, I think, when I was playing a lot more solo MMO games, and I wasn't really with people. And my good friend Norman was playing Shepherds Online. He was not interested in playing other games, and so therefore I probably just kind of gave it up. So, SirJahzeal, since you did pull up that game as a song from that game, Wildstar, I thought you could wax eloquently about Wildstar and what I don't know, you go for it.
Well, I took a little extra time with that last segment, so I don't want to take up a lot, but there was so much to love about that game. It was not perfect. There were things. For one thing, it was incredibly difficult if you were coming from, depending on what MMO you were coming from. It had a little bit more. It had a steep learning curve. We'll put it that way. One of the things was housing. Player housing was some of the best player housing, I think. The implementation of it was at the time the best that any MMO had done to that point. Elder Scrolls Online is not bad, but man, I kind of enjoyed it. Which that tells you something, because I've said on the show a few times that I'm not really into the player housing. I actually was into it in Wildstar. All the collectibles and making it your own little space, and just everything about it was great. I believe they're called challenges. Now the challenges were overtuned. They were way too hard, some of them. You always had to make sure that whatever area you were in, you were over level and over geared for it if you were going to do challenges. But the challenges were so fun. For those of you who maybe have played Guild Wars 2, where you're just exploring the map, and then all of a sudden you're in an area and all these enemies come rushing out, and it's like, hey, they're trying to steal all our buffaloes or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, let's help these people. And you help them, and then like other players are running by, and they're like, oh, hey, there's an event going on. And they come and help you, and everybody gets a little reward, get some coin, you get some gifts, maybe an upgrade to your armor, or something cool out of it. And people would come in. It was the same thing, where people would come in. There'd be like this big robot or something that would be just smashing up stuff, and it'd be like, hey, there's a big robot over here smashing stuff up, and somebody needs to stop it. Help. And so you go over there, and then all the other players would come in and help out. And one thing that it did, just like on Guild Wars 2, is that, man, it made to where you felt like you were a community. Like that massive multiplayer part of it actually meant something more than just there's other people in the world doing their own quests. No, they're helping out. You're all together doing the same quests, and you don't have to group up. You don't have to be in the same guild. You didn't have to hit any buttons other than just go in and do whatever the quest is. And some of them, they would mix it up too. It wasn't always killing something or killing a bunch of something. Sometimes it was, hey, the village caught fire or whatever. You need to run over there and help, get buckets of water and put the fire out. And there were lots of different things that you could do. And so the challenges were definitely so fun. And you would always get a lot of people, because they knew, especially if you were at level in the zone, most of the time you were going to need help. And because of the way that the game was, it encouraged people to help one another out, especially lobies or people that are still leveling. Maybe you're there for, doing reputation or whatever. You would want to help them out because not just for the reward, but feeling good, helping out your community, and that someday you might need help, and it fosters that environment where people will want to help you later on down the road.
Yeah.
I liked the faction conflict stuff. I actually thought it was on par, if not even better than World of Warcraft with Horde and Alliance, or ESO with its 3 different factions, or like the factional stuff was done very well, but you still could help each other out. There wasn't any thing saying that you shouldn't get along. But if you wanted to invest in your character and really role play it and whatnot, there was that atmosphere as well. That kind of friendly rivalry, we'll call it. Although sometimes if you were on the losing end, it didn't feel very friendly. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of lore and story behind what was going on, and it was very easy to learn it. I know a lot of people, kind of get confused with the World of Warcraft stuff, and even the Elder Scrolls Online stuff. They're like, I don't really necessarily understand why are these 2 factions fighting, or 3 or 4. They made it very easy because through the questing process, you would learn about why this stuff's going on, and it was kind of not necessarily spoon fed to you. But one thing I did like is all that stuff was in the game. You didn't, like with World of Warcraft, say, you didn't have to read any books, like real books with printed text on it. You didn't have to go to websites. You didn't have to play the previous RPG back in the 1990s or the early 2000s. This game, and it was given to you through the questing process in game. You didn't have to get any outside sources, and you would know what's going on, why these factions don't like each other, and da 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 da. So it just made it a lot easier to role play your character. And again, last week, I think it was last week, we talked about immersion in games. It made it very easy to get immersed in the game and get lost in the game world, and also to do what I was saying last week with that. That it was very easy to start playing at 6 p.m. and then say, "Oh, I've only been playing a couple of hours." Get up to get a glass of water, and it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
The questing was great. The movement felt fluid. It didn't. I think at the very beginning it was a little bit clunky, but I would say the 6 months or so into the game, they had fixed a lot of that, and the combat and movement felt very smooth, and it felt good.
As you were talking, I was showing him some videos from Wildstar, and
Yeah.
the game does not look familiar to me. So I don't think I played this game. I think I'm a different game. Okay.
Hmm.
So I have no idea how to think with this guy. So
Oh,
just FYI.
well, just a couple more things I would say. The customization, character customization, as well as with housing, and gear and all that was just top notch. And of course, the sci-fi thing was not overdone, like high fantasy is at this point. um, and the humor in the game. There were quests that I did that I was just rolling. They were legitimately hilarious. Like and not in a cringe-worthy way, or it was very well done and well placed, and it would this is another game too, I would say. Maybe we ought to cover that sometime, like MMOs that would make great movies. Man, this would have made a great movie. I think Wildstar would still make a great movie, and maybe someday we'll get it back. But anyway, those are just a few of the things. I could probably go on for an hour, guys, but I'm going to cut it there. It was a great game. I miss it. I miss it so much. And I'm really hoping someday someone says, "Hey, you know what? We're going to bring this back and give it another go." Because I just don't think, I don't know if it just wasn't advertised enough, or people just didn't understand what it was they were looking at, or maybe people had a bad experience because they logged in and the learning curve, and admittedly the learning curve was very steep. It was a little rough around the edges with getting started, and I can't imagine if you never played an MMO at all, it was probably one of those games that people played for half an hour and then they just said, "Oh, I don't like these MMO things," which is sad. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I got my fingers crossed. Someday.
How about you, Solomon? You played Wildstar. Is this a game you liked missing nowadays, like SirJahzeal did?
Play the link that I sent you. That'll be my answer.
The link you sent me.
The link?
Well, I'm not going to listen to it, right? I mean...
Yeah, listen to it.
Listen to it? It's 2 minutes long?
Yeah, it's just 2 minutes.
Hang on.
It's just 2 minutes. That's way shorter than I just did.
I know. Well, let me just get it all queued up here. We'll listen to it together then. So, all right, we'll screen it and listen to it. You can see. So
it's inappropriate for children. I gotta leave.
Welcome to Wildstar. This is DevSpeak. This is the disclaimer. It's finally time to throw back the curtain on the Ron Popeil of classes. The Engineer. Our goal with the Engineer was to make a heavy-range tank class that uses do-it-yourself gadgets and bots to destroy things. It's a pet class that doesn't play like a pet class. Basically, we put Inspector Gadget in a monster truck. Now, Engineers come packing with heavy armor, launchers, bots, an exosuit, and a ShamWow. Yo, dog, we heard you like bots. So we put some bots with your bots, so you can kill things while you kill things. The Engineer has bots for tanking, DPS, CC, and heals. Every bot has an ability, and you hold the trigger. She also uses her launcher to fire out experimental projectiles, like this, or this, or call an artillery strike. Your heavy armor not heavy enough? No problem. Just activate the limited edition Mark IV exosuit. It makes you better at everything. What this means is, it's the Engineer's choice to either hang back in DPS mode to dish out long-range damage, or switch to tank mode and wade through the battlefield. Like an actual tank. So that's the Engineer in a nutshell. Hit up our site for more details about this mechanical monstrosity. Oh, that social media.
Okay, so... Okay. What about it?
Oh, I just missed that class. I think it was the best pet class I've ever played in any MMO, hands down.
I see.
Maybe the Engineer in Guild Wars 2 comes second, but it's like a far second compared to that class. The Engineer Wildstar, I mean. And again, you got some of that humor that SirJahzeal was talking about earlier. Because you got everything and a ShamWow. I don't know if you guys remember what ShamWows are.
Yeah.
But those used to be a thing.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'll really add to that is the housing was wickedly customizable, like insanely customizable. But so are the mounts. The mounts you could equally put just ridiculous things on it, and just in that trailer he jokingly said, oh, yo dog, like pimp my ride, but literally like the mounts in Wildstar was like pimp my ride. You could put ridiculous amounts of stupid things on your mount and truly make it unique to your own. Whereas a lot of mounts that you get for other MMOs, it's just a skin, and to buy and just to have a different colors, you have to buy it, shell out more money as if it was a completely different mount. Whereas with Wildstar, you could customize it to your heart's content, and truly drive something that's very unique to you in the way you make it. And so I think that's something that's missing in a lot of MMOs, because then yeah, it's cool that you got this special mount that you got off of like Twitch, watching Twitch for 10 hours, but like, well, guess what? Everybody else has that mount. But with Wildstar, they did it right, where not only can you look and feel unique with your character, but with your mount too, which, yeah.
That's cool. Now I'm backing off what my other statement is. Now after watching that video, and again, I have played Wildstar. Some of the videos out there do not look familiar at all, probably because of the location and the class I played. But yeah, I mean I enjoyed Wildstar at first, seemed like. But okay, they changed. But all of you guys out there watching this YouTube video over that, let us know what you think about Wildstar. Is it a game you miss? Is it you want to come back to? I mean, after all, there are some successors to City of Heroes that are on the horizon, some point coming out. I don't know if anyone's going to do a private server or a pirate server for Wildstar. All I know is that NCSoft is just who canceled, who owns City of Heroes?
They do.
See, that's two now they've killed with a fan base of people.
They are a gaming graveyard.
Well, to be fair, that's all they ever made was MMOs. So you're bound to have a catalog of MMOs that just don't exist anymore. And about that though, there is a Discord server and a large group of fans who are trying to get this game a rogue server, but I haven't heard from them for like almost 2 years.
Okay.
Like, if you didn't know, I made another Discord account. I got rid of the old one, but because that Wildstar Discord was so like just unactive, like I didn't even bother joining again. So there seems to be a group, but nothing seems to really be happening, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, NCSoft is known for Aeon, Blade and Soul, Guild Wars 2, Lineage 2. They're under development for Aeon 2 and Blade and Soul, another one. But you look at their, of course, mobile stuff, but they're closed ones,
Right.
Tabula Rasa, City of Heroes, Wildstar. So this is like a company you don't want to put money into because they're just going to kill a game you like, Oh well. Now we're getting to world events. So next week is Star Wars Celebration. Obviously, if you're actually down there, you can be down there. I think it's in Anaheim, but there is a potential of doing some online stuff. I gotta find out exactly when and where. They talked about either YouTube or I think maybe even Twitch channel. So if we do that, we'll see some announcements for that to kind of share in that celebration. It is, of course, next weekend being Memorial Day weekend. And so a lot of folks have off. I have Friday off, so to speak. I mean, I only work part-time Friday, but I will be on the show Hear Me Out on SirJahzeal's channel Friday morning. I plan on seeing Maverick on Saturday. I have Sunday. I have my kids coming over for Memorial Day celebration barbecue, and then Monday is a day off. So a great time to chill out stuff. We do know that Elder Scrolls Online is coming up on June 6th. We haven't really talked about much doing it that. There is a possibility of playing the game, but with a lot of us doing some other things, maybe not, but definitely Summer Game Fest is coming up on June 9th. That is correct. So it'll be streamed and I will be streaming it. June 9th is a Thursday, so it'll be interesting to see what time it actually is. Probably, I think it's during the day, which means then you won't see me doing it until at night. I'm not taking the day off just for that. So we'll probably do have the special time for that, maybe even on a Friday. Microsoft and Bethesda is having their game showcase on June 12th. After all, there is no E3 this year, so even in that, then not all these game companies go to E3 anymore. But Microsoft, Xbox, and Bethesda is having a game showcase. We'll see. Bethesda's already told us that they're not going to have Starfield launch this year, so whoopee. And then yeah. The day before was supposed to be coming out in June, also 2023. So we have seen a lot of games push, which gives us more time to level our WoW characters, okay? And for me to finally do some level 50 stuff in Lost Ark. TwitchCon, guys, gals, will be in San Diego for TwitchCon. Come join us, be there. I kind of half jokingly asked the crew here if they wanted to do a panel, because it does require at least 3 people to do a panel. And they definitely prize diversity. So if we want to think, I'm sure we could actually be a part of, But anyways, even if not, we'll be down in San Diego for TwitchCon, October 7th through 9th. So you got to come down and visit us. Let us know you're going to be there, and we'll arrange for something to hang out with, Get all the Trinity Bro fans out there, So yeah.
All 1.5 of them?
1.5 of them. And then, of course, Wrath of Lich King is going to be coming out, sometime this year, probably 4th quarter. Beta is probably going to come, like you heard earlier, July, August, and so therefore it'll be at the end of the year. I was thinking August would be when it's going to release it, but at this point now, definitely be 4th quarter. Looks like maybe November, and that one we are going to launch. I will take vacation on that day if it's open. The server's opening up in the morning before work. I am taking vacation on that day. Okay, that's just happening. Okay, because Lich King, I'm not trying to recreate the memories of the past. I'm trying to create new memories with new friends. And that'll be fun too. So that's the key thing. So you can join us also. We invite everyone to join us on these adventures. We're not just trying to show it and like you're not inviting you. So again, like you heard earlier, we do have WoW Classic on Atesh if you want to join us there. We also have Characters Alliance on Proudmoore server, on retail, and on retail Horde we are in Tichondrius. And we are planning, especially before Dragonflight comes out, they will be doing cross-faction raiding, and we are assembling those teams now. So if you want to join us, come join us, and we'll be there to play some WoW with you, okay? So there you go. Gentlemen, any last comments, thoughts, questions, witty remarks? Okay. Well, that means our quests are done. Judges are cleared, the loot has been distributed, and all the crafting orders have been completed, and they've been mailed back to their customer. It's time to go to AFK. Solomon, where can we find you at?
Oh, the usual coffee and RPGs and whiskey and RPGs. Although I haven't really been making any content because of my stupid day job, but hopefully I'll be able to make some more after the Memorial Day weekend. So I appreciate your guys' support in the meantime.
I know it's like working different hours and everybody else kind of really puts a hamper on things. Then it also just changes the way your life looks at things. I'm used to a day's job, first shift job, and when you think gets torn into turmoil, you're like, well, now what? Okay, it's like you're not used to it. Not used to it.
Right.
SirJahzeal, what about you? Where can I find you at?
Discord, Twitch, and Battle.net, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bunch of WoW stuff you've been doing.
SirJahzeal. Yeah, I'm back playing World of Warcraft. I'm still playing Lost Ark 2. Don't worry about that. But mainly back to World of Warcraft at this point because I got my hands full with Classic and Retail.
Yeah. All right. And you can find me here at Kennethan on Twitch, or Kennethan Live on Twitter, or Kennethan.locals.com, and some other social medias like TikTok and Hover. But yeah, I got to make a new scroll on the bottom of my screen, okay? Guessing when the spiel is done, 12 seconds ahead, too challenging. Guessing when the spiel is done, 12 seconds ahead, too challenging. Oh, Yoshi's trying to figure out when to actually do the commands into the chat. Okay. Anyways, we are so glad you came to watch us for some good old MMO news and MMO opinions. So grateful to have you there and watching us. We have fun doing this. I hope you had fun too. If you're seeing us on a rewind somewhere, please send us a comment. and like and subscribe, and just give us thumbs up, whatever you want to do. I talked about doing this, posting this as an actual podcast, and one day I might do that. We're up to episode 85, so hey, I know we're having fun. So God bless you guys, take care of yourself, and we'll see you around next week for an episode. Yeah, right? You guys are all in town for Memorial Day weekend, right?
I'll be here.
All right. Bye, everyone. This time, Jahzeal's not waving. Okay.
I'm actually waving.
You're actually waving?
No, not really.
Actually, you are. Your picture, your visage I have on the screen is waving. So the hands up, okay? I try to move it. You know, I should turn into a GIF. Have your hand moving, you know. Bye, everyone. Check out the further adventures of Kennethan by liking and subscribing and watching me live on twitch.tv/Kennethan.